It's very frustrating at times when you know where a thing is, but you can't actually physically get to it because the street's blocked off because they've put one of these firemen's bars in it that you can't get through, and you have to end up going right the way round. But fortunately, we're fairly knowledgeable of South London, so we tend to get round it.
Everyone in the whole estate used to look out for each other. You get me? We'd have people that live in, friends that live in all different blocks. So the DTI came, we'd have friends would phone us and tell us that the DTI's in the area. Even down to the caretakers used to be on our side. They used to open up the shit lift shafts for us to put our rigs in, you know?
The DTI men have considerable powers of confiscation. They can seize not only the pirates' equipment, but also their most valuable raw material, the music.
We're not killjoys, but the records are very much a part of the pirate station, and our powers enable us to seize anything concerned with the transmission, including records, cellular telephones that run advertising for the stations. So anything that's connected with the station, we have the power to seize. And ultimately, I'm afraid those things that we seize are destroyed.
Both north and south of the Thames, the pirate broadcasters have carved out huge areas of London. For council housing managers like George Grime in Southwark, they're a headache. It's not just that they interfere with his tenants' radio reception, it's what they get up to on the roof.
The main problem is the damage, trying to keep them out, trying to keep tank rooms and other areas on the roof secure. Because if the pirates get in, then other people can get in, children can get in, and all sorts of damage can be done in those areas. Another aspect of the problem is that if the person needs to get out onto the roof, often they're not very careful about leaving the roof secure, and pigeons can get into tank rooms with the risk of pollution of the water supply in some cases.
An estimated 30 to 40 pirate stations transmit across the southeast, and the numbers are growing despite the DTI's best efforts. Battersea is the home of one of the more youthful stations, but no less successful.
My name's Kevin, this is Dream FM, and this is our studio.
They know our station's one of the biggest in London, without a doubt. The amount of thousands of people we get at our events, we've done basically every big venue you can think of in London, and we brand it. Tickets set up. You can say Dream FM and everyone knows Dream FM.
Broadcasting from the piracy of their own bedroom, Dream FM specialise in music called happy hardcore. Like Cool FM, they carry ads and organise their own raves. Of all the pirates, they're aiming to be the top. But would they want to be legal?
No, not really. Like I said, it's you know, you're free to what you want to play. You know, you can pick up a record and you can pull it out your bag. You don't have to pay royalties to anyone. You know, it's all sort of like free. You know, come up, you do your slot, you play what you want to play. People ring up, they do their shout, what shout they want to do, rather than sort of dedication going out to requesting this. You know, it's more free. You can express yourself more.
It's all very different from the pioneering days of Radio Caroline, when the few pirates there were modelled themselves on legal stations. Today, a bedroom is as good as a boat. And the political climate has changed. The 1990 Broadcasting Act heralded a new age of commercial radio, with supposedly more choice. So would the new licensing body, the Radio Authority, welcome today's pirates into the legal fold?
It seems to me desirable that those who have an enthusiasm for radio, which after all we all have at the Radio Authority, those who have an enthusiasm for radio should be able to take advantage of the existing system, which is not a restrictive one. It has its rules, but it's not restrictive.
Kiss FM is the station the Radio Authority likes to hold up as an example.
Evening listeners, you've got me, Kenny Ken, up until 11 o'clock.
Once a pirate station but now legal, Kiss pulls in 1.2 million listeners a week across Greater London, mainly by playing mainstream dance music. Jungle gets a nighttime slot. The mix has worked so well that Kiss is now completely controlled by one of the largest media groups, EMAP.
Another brand new dub plate from V Records.
Unlike the pirate days, those who run Kiss now have to listen as much to the money men as to the audience.
We have to make £4 million before we earn 1 penny. I mean, that's just how much it costs to run this kind of station. Hence, you know, that's imposed on us by different bills, different costs, different, you know, just running a station of this size. and with such a wide format. You have to start listening to the accountants or the financial directors. Yeah, you do. I mean, you've got to. I mean, and it becomes a business. It becomes a thing where it isn't driven purely by that record that you played, which will make people go, yeah, that's great. It's by how many people are going to listen to that station, and how you can convert them into advertising sales.
KISS has to pay for a licence to broadcast, £80,000 a year. But while the Radio Authority preaches the gospel of diversity, it says licences have to be rationed by the number of available frequencies.
We are always looking for new frequencies, and particularly looking for them in the London area, where there is significant demand. We have identified a few frequencies that we will be advertising, one of which we have already advertised in South West London, over the coming months and years. But there really aren't very many. I mean, we've been very successful in shoehorning extra radio stations onto the air, but there is a limit.
But some radio specialists argue there's still plenty of space that could be freed up. The trouble is, they say, that the legal stations have been given over-generous buffers either side of their frequencies.
If you tune across the FM band, here we are in London, when you hear hiss, there's nothing there. There's a station, there's some hiss, there's some more hiss.
That's not interference.
That's not interference, that's a spare frequency for a low power service. And as you tune around, you come across quite a lot of hiss. Now, I'm not saying that all those frequencies could be used for London-wide services, but they could certainly be used for little local area services, maybe running 4 or 10 watts.
At present, London has 18 legal stations. An additional pan-London frequency and 3 extra local ones will soon be put up for licence. But even then, commentators argue, that'll still amount to about half the stations the capital could accommodate. Buried in the Times Square shopping complex of Sutton, South London, is the kind of station that's most likely to get a licence these days. Well run and well heeled.
Good weekend? Absolutely fantastic weekend. Good luck.
Eclipse FM is owned by local businessmen and at present transmits only on cable. They now want to broadcast to a wider audience and have put in an application for the South West London FM licence. But to have even a chance, they have first to persuade the Radio Authority that there will be a demand for their service.
And we've commissioned a very, very hefty research document, which will hopefully give us an idea as to what our audience is at the moment and what our potential audience want from a local service. Detailed in here are lists of support that we've got from local people who believe that what we're hoping to achieve is right for this area. That comes from the public, it comes from local businesses, government agencies, government offices, councillors.
And that's not all. There's the application itself.
It takes you from the group of people who are involved in the station at the start, but also now as well. It also takes you through external assistance that agencies or people that you've had to bring in to help with the application process. And then it takes you through the staff structure. There's a very, very hefty section here that deals with programming.
But the real cost is in the market research that has to be done before you can even put in the application.
It's probably, at the end of the day, going to cost between £40,000, between £20,000 and £40,000.
And that's purely stake money. If you don't get the licence, then that's written off. You've had it.
Yeah, it's all lost.
That's a lot of money, and it does seem to mean that only those people who have already got deep pockets can apply for a licence and get one. The other side of the coin is that the unsuccessful applicants have probably spent as much money and are then going away empty-handed, which seems a shame.
Inevitably, it's the big corporations who have mopped up most of the London-wide licences. But now, even some insiders think the regulatory hurdles should be lowered to let in some small-scale niche stations.
Now, the smaller the format, if you could actually decrease the amount of money that station would have to pay, which, does happen at the moment, and you could take it down even more, then we'd all be on the same playing field, as in, we're all legalised, we're all out there fighting in the commercial world, and, sort of, it's not us against them or whatever, it's just normal business.